At my friend's wedding, my abusive ex showed up, acted like our daughter was dead. I, 37F, left my husband, Darren, 37M, 2 years ago when our eldest daughter, now 19, came out, and he physically attacked her for it. We have 4 children, and I have sole custody over the 3 who are young enough to be covered by custody agreements, which Darren has tried to fight me over for the past 2 years. But when you have a criminal record for beating up one child, the courts are unlikely to give you custody of the others. Darren and I had been in the same friendship group since primary school, but my friends told me they had all cut contact with him. I went to my friend Rachel's, 37F, wedding this weekend when I spotted him at the ceremony. I chose not to acknowledge his existence because it was a wedding and an important day for my friend. It was a big wedding anyway, so I thought I could just avoid him and have a conversation with Rachel about his presence at a later date because she deserved to enjoy her day. However, when I was looking at the seating plan for the reception, I saw both of our names, one after the other. Rachel had put our group, including Darren, at the same table. My 2 other friends from this group convinced me to take my seat because we hardly get to see each other anymore, promising that they had no idea why Darren was invited and vowing to make him regret being born if any drama started. Darren sat next to me, greeted me with a "Hey, babe," as if we were still together, and I could not cope with being in his presence. All I could think about was desperately trying to restrain him while my second eldest called the police. I downed my glass of Prosecco and walked to my hotel. Yesterday, I got a message from Rachel saying that her mom asked her to invite Darren, and Rachel said yes because her parents were paying for most of the wedding. Rachel's mom is Darren's godmother. I asked her about the seating plan, and again, she said that was her mom's doing because she was adamant that there was a potential for us to get back together. She apologized for not telling me, saying that she thought I wouldn't go if I knew, which is true, I wouldn't have come. I have not replied to that message, and I don't plan to. As much as I don't want to give up on an over 3-decade-long friendship, I can't get past this. Commenter: fuck your friend and her lousy excuses. She blindsided you without any regard to your feelings and the fact that he assaulted your child. I don't care what Rachel's excuses are. She's the bride. She makes the final call no matter what her mother wants. I would think most vendors want some kind of signature from the couple to approve things. Rachel's a coward who would rather place blame for her decisions on someone outside your friendship group. I would never do this, but I can see why her mom invited your ex to the wedding since he's her godson. But Rachel should have told you beforehand, and she never should have assigned you to the same table. Commenter: also, I don't trust that everyone didn't know he was going to be there prior to the wedding. I feel like your friends used the wedding as a way for your friendship group to come together again for their convenience, which, if true, is so messed up. I'm so petty that anytime someone mentions why can't you just be around him, I would shove photos of both of your injuries in their face and say, you want this person in our lives? Screw that and screw you. Rachel is an asshole. There are some things you push back on, and this is one of them. She absolutely should have let you know. You deserve better friends. Ditch the bitch. You are a badass, and I hope to be the type of mom you are. You did the right thing. You respected your friend's wedding. Your friend and her mother disrespected you and your kid. Also, the suggestion that you would rekindle something with the asshole who assaulted your kid for coming out makes me seriously concerned about being around these people at all. If your friend was your friend, she would have said, no, that isn't gonna happen. He's a piece of shit. End of story. Commenter: sorry you had such a shit experience. Sorry, your kid's coming out was traumatic instead of the celebration it should have been. But, you're amazing, and I hope you are surrounded by people who see and support how great you are. Commenter: I assume, since Rachel is from the friend group, that she knows what he did. I also assume, because you've been friends for 30 years, that she knows your children. If these 2 facts are true, then she needed to protect you. This was unforgivable. Yeah, my children call her their auntie, and she and her husband helped me pack up our lives after what he did. I still can't wrap my head around why she didn't even warn me. Commenter: I'm afraid you need to tell your children about this so they know Auntie can't be trusted. Update. Thank you to everyone for their support in the comments. Before I get into the update, I noticed a couple of comments pointing out my mistake with sole custody, and I'm just grateful that I have a solicitor for custody stuff because if I make a mistake and don't see a wiggly red line under it, I will not pick up on it. Anyway, I did not reply to Rachel and just blocked her, but her husband called me yesterday. He apologized but then went on about how hard this is for Rachel and how she feels that the day was tainted for her. I told him that how she sees her day is not my responsibility, and I ended up blocking him as well. I talked to one of the members of the friend group, and he apologized for convincing me to even sit down at the table. He said he thought more about wanting the group back together than how it would affect me. He then told me about how Darren told Rachel's family members, who asked where I was, that seeing him reminded me too much about our son who died 2 years ago, and I had to leave. He was referring to my daughter, who is a, very much alive, trans woman. Apparently, no one in the group attempted to correct him, so I have just removed myself from our group chats and I'm going to try to make better friends. Also, thank you to the people who wished my daughter well. She wanted me to say that she really appreciates it and that she is starting to thrive, despite the mental scarring and tinnitus her sorry excuse for a father gave her. I could not be prouder of how far she has come in her journey, and in September, she will be the first person in my family to go to university. She is taking a page out of the Petty Queen's book and getting her revenge with a life well lived.